Hey everybody, what's up? This is Brad from Bradsmithdraws. Come draw with me. I'm going to be drawing some monsters and aliens today. I'm glad you're here. And if you like what you see today in the video, please like and subscribe. All right, so we're going to be drawing some monsters today. So let me see what I can do real quick. I always, when I talk to my son, I always ask, he's 6, I always ask him, do you want like lizard-like, what else is there? There's like the scales, there's furry, there's slimy, different things like that. So that's kind of what we're thinking of before we start. We're trying to think of what kind of monster. Do we want horns? Do we want 1,000 eyes? Do we want 2 eyes? Do we want 1? Is he gonna look like a spider? Is he gonna look like a mouse, rat type of thing? So just keep all of that stuff in mind before we start drawing. What kind of shapes is he gonna look like? And so I'm gonna start drawing, and I'm gonna come up with a couple different weird looking shapes. So we're gonna do that right now. And I think I'm gonna have mine be furry, but I'm gonna try to draw a light with longer broad lines. So it's just gonna have this natural flow to it when you do that. So, and we're gonna exaggerate some shapes. So I'm gonna have it come down here like this, and then like that. But instead of it coming in really thin and be really skinny and all that, which is something you can do, what I'm gonna do is kind of pop this part out right here. And so something to keep in mind also, I learned when doing character design, it's always flattering to have this one flatter line over here, and then to have this zigzag line out, in, out, in, out, in. And so there's always rhythm, and there's always different stuff like that to drawings. You'll notice as you keep going. But so I'm gonna draw some eyes here. I kind of already know what I want it to look like. And like I said, I might change this, but I think I want him to be a little bit more furry. So I'm gonna just actually draw this monster right now. I'm kind of gearing up for it already, but I think I'm gonna have these big nostrils. I'm gonna pull this out a little bit because I want the big nostrils. I'm gonna have it come down like that. And then there's a couple things to do here. You can have his eyebrows come up and over, or you can make it a little bit more cartoony. Give him a couple more eyes down here. I don't know. I'm gonna give him some big, like almost like bat ears. And I'm gonna do that like this. And sometimes it doesn't work out and doesn't look that good. But I always have this big shape that I start off with, and then I do littler shapes. It just kind of helps. I learned a lot from Steven Silver. Steven Silver is if you don't know, back in the day he did like Kim Possible. He did the character design for a lot of the Disney shows, as well as some other stuff. And I took a couple of his workshops. And so I'm trying to keep some of that stuff in mind. I also bought his book, and that is The Silver Way. And let me show you that real quick. This is The Silver Way. Here. This is his book on character design. And you can just kind of see, it's a wonderful book. There you go. There's all the shapes, the shape language that he's starting off with, and that sort of stuff. So we're just kind of barely getting into any of this stuff. But he is an amazing artist. Very wonderful work. Got to meet him a few times and talk to him. I met his wife at one of the comic conventions, or Lightbox is what it was. The Lightbox in LA, I think, or Anaheim. I think it was LA. Pasadena, yeah. And so anyways, she was manning the booth with them, and they're just super nice people. Really cool. So I'm gonna just kind of go like this and make some fur down his back. I'm gonna close his eyelids a little bit and even bring it up. And I normally don't draw traditionally like I'm doing right now. I usually draw on my iPad, but this was pretty fun. And then I'm gonna stagger his teeth. I want sharp teeth, but I'm gonna have some spaces right there. Can you see that okay? So hopefully you guys can see this well. And make sure he has some littler teeth next to some big teeth. Give him some long teeth, some short teeth. And up here, you have those canines, so let's kind of stay true to that. Yeah, and then, if you wanted, you can have this tongue coming down and stuff, but to kind of figure out who he is and what's the point? What story are you telling with him? Is he going to tell, are you going to tell a good story with this guy or not? So I just kind of gave him that 3D element right there, just kind of help push that out a little bit. I'm going to make his tongue come down like this. I want to keep it in his mouth. I'm not going to have it hang out of his mouth. I'm going to do that real quick. And so, yeah. So this, I don't know. Kind of didn't do what I wanted it to do, but it's still kind of cool. I'm going to go like that and make some spots. And then he's going to stay pretty furry, and that fur is going to come down like this. And so he'll probably be a little bit balder over here, so that's what these dots are. I'm going to have his fur kind of hang off, because he's maybe wearing a suit or something like that. So this is all fur right here. Gonna have his cheekbone come up a little bit. This is some crazy monster alien guy. I don't know. And then you have to figure out what his body type looks like and all that. Is he big and bulky? Is he yeah. Is he thin? Is he athletic? Maybe he's kind of fat because he's like royal or something like that. Maybe he's just gluttonous and eating too much, and he's like, he just thinks the best of himself. I don't know. So I don't know, try something like that. We're gonna call that guy done. Move over here. And so what if we did another big broad thing like this, but this time it's long. And I'm gonna go like that. And I'm just kind of making a shape. Hopefully it pans out the way I want it to. I kind of just like to doodle until something comes up. But with this one, we're gonna play with this height. A really cool thing, if you keep it the same all the time, like if, I drew his eyes here and his nose here, and I kept this distance. Something that Stephen Silver had mentioned in his book that I just showed you, as well as in the workshops and stuff like that, he says to avoid the ladder, and that's splitting things up. So I have his eyes here, his mouth here, so there's a little tiny gap here, but then there's a big gap, and then there's kind of a tinier gap, and there's a huge gap. So that's kind of what we're going for. We're breaking up the ladder, so we're gonna try that. So I'm gonna actually, what do you think about giving this guy such a big, long forehead? So I'm gonna have his eyes come down like this and up like that. Give him those big eyes right here. Then I'm gonna give him littler eyes back here. And as I was doing that, it kind of reminded me of gills. So I might make some gills. On him too, because it just sounds fun. Have his mouth be kind of pointed like that. And so obviously his mouth and face is over here. He's looking this way. But I might kind of do this thing like this. I don't know. Don't know what that's going to do, but we're going to just try it and see. Something like that. Just give him some sort of character. And he has this weird mouth thing going on right now. I think I'm going to do that. And some of the cool stuff you can do with drawing, man, you can do anything. You can create, mix up different creatures together. You know, I can, like I said, I was thinking about giving this guy some gills, which could be cool or it could not. But don't forget to play with line weight. That's how dark the line is in certain areas. And you don't want it dark everywhere, and you don't want it thick everywhere. Just in certain places. Like I made that a little bit too thick. But you'll notice in the comic industry that it's all pretty thick around the outside, and then it's thinner on the inside. In my normal style, if you see me ink, it's actually much thicker than it probably should be, but I really like that style. And so this guy, I don't know, I kind of have this weird thing going on with him. I'm not sure if I like this bottom part here, but I definitely don't mind his head. His head looks pretty cool. See what happens when you start to not have those broad lines? You have these little weird sketch marks, and it's not always appealing. It's not bad, but not always appealing. Depends on what you want to do. So if I were like inking this, let's say, maybe a nose right here. It's kind of weird. Let's break it up though. Have a nose. It's a really thin, tiny nose. And then I'm going to have it come out like that. Use some lines up at the top. And this up here, you know, he can have, I don't know, this really cool helmet or something, or maybe it's just this really cool like design or something on it. Trying to think of what I can do. Maybe something comes down like this. You're like, what's going on? This might look dumb, but you just play around and see. Because this is all just fun. This isn't a real character. You know, I'm not making this for a comic or anything. This is just for fun. But what if he looks like this? Maybe I can get another one down because I kind of put it off to the side a little bit. It's okay if you don't make a straight line, just fix it. Don't get upset. Look, my lines are all messed up. This is all just rough draft. This is all just for fun. So if you're new to drawing and you say, oh man, I didn't have a straight line, don't worry about it. Keep drawing. You don't have to make your stuff perfect every single time. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna go like this and make these dots over here. I think it kind of looks cool. That one just kind of got a little bit crazy, but maybe it's a circuit board or something like that on top of his head. Should we do one more? One more and we'll be done. This one, what should we do? Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes I just make a shape and fill it in. It's another good thing to do to practice your character designs is just make a shape. I'm gonna do big eyes like that. Got some eyes down here. And maybe one right up here. I do stuff like this sometimes when my kids freak out. And they're like, don't draw that again. And this one, I think I'm just going to give him slits for nostrils. What does he need all his eyes for? Who is he? Think about that while you're drawing. Who is this character? But he's going to be looking at us because I think it's fun. And I just kind of had an idea. What if he had a patch for an eye on one of them? He has all these eyes, but he lost one. Always make up stuff. You're not a character designer if you don't make up stories about your characters you make. And so we're gonna do that. It's not coming out as well as I wanted, but we'll see what happens. The more lines you put on a character, the more like rugged they look. They stop looking feminine. I had a problem with that. I was trying to learn how to draw women and, just like wanted to draw superheroes and stuff and Wonder Woman and Supergirl and Rogue and all that stuff from the X-Men and trying to figure out how to do it, and I added too many lines. And then it stopped looking like a girl, and I was so confused every time. This one's gonna just a couple of the stuff here. He kind of has his head is kind of flopping down in the back. I think that'll be fun. So now he has all these, like, maybe he does have these little what are they called? too. Tentacles. Yeah, I couldn't think of that. Maybe a couple spikes on his chin. Honestly, you're just kind of sculpting, you know? And I'm gonna add these little like lines. Kind of helps it look rounded. And if you do, make them light. Barely touch the paper. Yeah. If you've seen Bob Ross, I just made myself think of him. Barely touch the paper. Seriously though, that's what you're doing on this thing. Let's see these thin lines? That's what I'm doing. And so he has this big old patch. I might want to kind of keep this going a little bit. I really like it. I didn't think I'd like it that much. So I'm going to have it kind of hang off. And maybe it comes up like that too to make sure it stays on. You do whatever you want. If you're following along, do whatever you want. If you're just watching, cool. That's my guy. He's, just made him up. Saw me do it right now and just made him up. He has apparently 2 teeth. I can keep going. I can darken it. And you know what? If I like it a lot, I sometimes will just bring it into Procreate. That's what I use on my sorry about my shadow on my iPad. But yeah, these are the drawings that I created just now. I hope you enjoy. If you like what I do, just follow me on YouTube. Just click the like. Leave a comment what you thought of the drawings, and follow me on YouTube for more stuff like this. Thanks for drawing along with me. I have an Instagram channel that I use often. You can find me at Bradsmithdraws, and yeah, I'll look forward to drawing with you guys. All right, talk to you later.